Hank Williams Sr. song called Jambalaya. Anyway, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Appreciate that you're here. I'm FiddlinJonny. This is my fiddle channel where you always get a little bit of a fiddle tune at the beginning here. But I know you're mostly here for the magic product review. And today we're going to review Nathan Kranzo's latest release called Repetition. So stick around, we'll get right into this one and see if it's right for you. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm glad you are here. If you're new here, I'm FiddlinJonny and I try to put up really good detailed magic product reviews here. So before you go and you purchase a product, first come to the channel here and see if I have reviewed that product before you pull the trigger and make the decision whether you're going to purchase that product or not. I hope these are really helpful for you. Anyway, let's just get into what I have today. I have Repetition by Nathan Kranzo. And I have to admit, this is an effect that I love. It's a classic of magic, but I have some serious problems or challenges with this that I'll address throughout the review. If you don't know what Repetition is, you haven't seen the trailer for it, it's a classic. It's basically, you know, it is a multiplying cards effect, and basically you take 4 of a kind, you discard one of the cards and then proceed to do a 3-card effect, but suddenly the card is returned and you still have 4 cards. You get rid of that extra card, show 3 cards, and then suddenly boom, through moving your hands, that card has reappeared, and you go through this 4 times with each time the card reappearing. But then you cannot end the card because the reveal at the very end, or the kicker is that the cards have all changed now instead to red back cards, and you have 4 of a kind of red back cards, so they change from blue back to red back. And that's essentially what this effect is and what's taught on the tutorial here and the instructions for that. So let's talk a little bit about what you're going to get. You're going to get this nice little plastic carrying case is what they will arrive in, and here you'll get a link to the tutorial, and then you're going to get 8 cards, and you're going to get 8 cards that are matching 4 of a kind in red rider back and 4 of a kind in a blue rider back. That's what you're going to get. You're not going to get a choice of what your 4 of a kind is. The 4 of a kind ranges from the entire deck, so I think they take 2 decks and just go through it and take the 4 of a kind, and you could get up to 4 jokers. I know that some people are receiving that, so that could be a pro or a con for some folks depending on your point of view. So you're going to get the 8 cards. You're going to get a streaming / downloadable tutorial that is 19 minutes and 50 seconds in length. So you're not getting a super long tutorial. It's a pretty short 19-minute tutorial is what you're going to get. All right, so how are the instructions? The video quality here is great. It's shot in the studio, no problems with levels and quality, just really, really good. What you're going to learn is you're going to learn the routine. You're going to learn the method, and then you're going to learn a couple of ideas that you could take the method and create some new types of routines, is what you're going to get. But what you don't learn is that, and let me back up, what you don't learn is if you are a magician who's been around for any length of time and you look at these cards and you've seen the trailer and you go, oh, I'm pretty sure that's the method they're using, you are correct. The method that they're using here is a classic method that you would have learned early on from other decks that you have using the same exact technology. There's no new technology here, no improvements in that respect. Essentially, you're purchasing the routine with the gimmicks that are there. What I would have liked to have seen, I think this, for the newer magician, it would have made it less rough for someone new to this method and made it more smooth to make it themselves when the card wears out. I hope that's helpful. I think some folks probably caught that. But eventually these cards are going to wear out. And when they wear out, you'll want to make new ones. I think for anyone who's been around for a while, you know how to make these cards yourself and have probably done so. If you're brand new, you may not be familiar with this method. And if so, it just would have been nice on this tutorial to have received more detail. And to Nathan's credit, he does talk about different products that you can use for your arts and crafts portion if you wanted to make this gimmick yourself. So that's possible, but it doesn't demo for you how to make it. And there's nuance if you're making this style of gimmick in terms of where you might want to apply some of the product that you're going to use, how much of your product you utilize, the pros of certain kinds versus others, that sort of thing. And I think at the end of the day, that's the piece that was missing for me in this routine, or sorry, in this product that I would have liked to have seen. With that said, Nathan Kranzo's just very pleasant in his teaching. When he does teach, it's good, and the level of detail is fine for what he's teaching at the moment. And I will give credit to Nathan. I think one of the stronger things on this tutorial is that he gives a number of additional ideas for creating routines with this method, and I thought that was really, really good. And I think if you're a creative type, well, you could run with this method and come up with some cool effects. So let's talk about the gimmick. Okay, this is where I have a challenge. About the gimmick, this is probably about my third or fourth time taping this, and I keep starting off and doing a demo of this, but I stopped because my gimmicks are not working perfectly. And I know that sometimes there's user error when you're using this type of gimmick, and sometimes it's not. And so ultimately mine were quality was average. So let me help you out here a little bit with detail in terms of what I'm talking about. I purchased mine through Penguin Magic. Through Penguin Magic, they have a discussion forum if you've purchased a product. And in there, I could tell that there was a real range of folks who got product that was awesome and that the gimmicks were done really, really well. And then it went all the way to the opposite end where it was too good and that they were so good that they couldn't function, if that makes sense, and everything in between. I feel like when I first opened mine and got mine, they were really, really awesome. And this type of gimmick will always wear out. I have gimmicks that I've used for a year or more at a time with regular use before they wear out. I've had this a couple of days and it's already wearing out. So I need to do my arts and crafts to get these back to a level where I feel comfortable performing with them. And I just think that's something for folks to know. If you know what the method is and you like the arts and crafts to make them the way you like, I don't know if you would need to purchase this. You could probably just make it on your own because you already know what the method is. All right, so the gimmick. We know that the United States Playing Card Company, no problem with the cards themselves, but it's the gimmicking process and the quality control. Some are great, some are not so good. So if you don't get one that's good, make sure that you're reaching out to where you purchased it and see if they can help you out with it. All right, so let's talk about, I will add with, I think I might have mentioned, if you're brand new to this method here, know that sometimes it is a user error and that you have to learn the subtlety of how you apply pressure to the cards when you spread your cards so that they're spreading perfectly for you. When you go to do the portion where suddenly you want to make a card appear, like in how you shake it and getting it to work flawlessly for you will depend a little bit on practice. So sometimes it's there may be user error there. So make sure you take the time to practice first if you're brand new and you're not too sure. All right, let's talk about what else do I want to talk about? Let's talk about what's the skill level. Technically this is beginner, so I feel like I was just talking there a little bit about if you're a beginner, some of the things that take time to practice, but a beginner can do this pretty quickly. And it's a method that's used for a lot of beginner decks that you might use. So let's talk about the pros. I think Nathan Kranzo is really funny. I think his style of routine is great for a stand-up magician. And I think that's where the sweet spot is for this product. It's also nice that the gimmick arrives ready-made if it's working. It's nice that you don't have to make it, it's ready to go. I think also Nathan did a nice job by creating some ideas to create new routines, which I thought were really spot on there. And I like that this routine has the twist at the end that you don't see coming, that even though you start off with blue back cards, now suddenly they are all red backed cards. The cons is that the gimmicks may vary, some good to some terrible. My biggest con here is I would have liked to have seen a detailed instruction on how to make this gimmick and actually demo making the gimmick, maybe with different products to sort of see what some of the difference is. And also, I think this is going to be a con here is if you receive this gimmick and the gimmicks don't work perfectly for you out the gate, that's really frustrating. You shouldn't have to have that experience. All right, if it's working great for you, you know how to make these gimmicks, who's going to like it? I think if you're a stand-up magician, it's going to work for you. Small room type stuff. It's great cards because it can play larger rather than just in close-up routines. So I think that's sort of the sweet spot for this. Let's talk about the cost. The cost is, it ranges in the United States from $14.95 up to $20, which is what I've seen it. And I suppose where you purchase it from, if you're doing it, shipping may vary based upon what the shipping and handling cost might be. But that's what I've seen in terms of from a cost perspective. It's an average cost. It's not great. If my gimmicks worked perfectly and lasted a long time, I'd be saying this is fantastic, no problem at all. But since I'm already having to make my improvements to my gimmicks, I'm gonna say I don't love that aspect of it. So anyway, I think that's the details that I think are hopefully helpful for you. I could probably drone on and on here, but like the good side is that the effect is good. When the method works, it's fantastic. And I think there's lots of ideas for new routines using this method if you're not familiar with it. The downside is that your gimmicks may vary. And you will eventually have them wore out and you'll have to remake them. And it would be nice if we had a tutorial that walked through step by step remaking these gimmicks and the pros and cons of using different product. So, because different products work to different degrees. So, yeah, all right, that's it. I'm done on this one. I hope that you will leave a comment. Make sure you like and subscribe too if you haven't subscribed. I'd really, really appreciate it. All right, thanks everyone. I'm glad that you're here. And remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see you guys all next time. Bye-bye.